It's been a busy year for drug arrests in Scott County, and the drugs have only become more potent. What the Scott County Sheriff's Office is doing to get fentanyl-laced heroin off of the streets.
Police investigate after a man says he was robbed while walking through a Lexington park. And a SkyWest pilot arrested for allegedly trying to fly while drunk. That's ahead at 4:30.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sam Dick reporting it is a push to get fentanyl-laced heroin off the streets.
Now, earlier this week, Levi Fischbach was arrested after police say he sold fentanyl to a confidential informant. Our Caitlin Setner talked with the sheriff's office on how they're cracking down on drug dealers. It's our top story at 4:30.
Detectives are having their informants buy drugs in Scott County. Sometimes these dealers are being arrested right away, while other times the investigation takes months. But regardless, the sheriff says there's a big push to get these potent drugs off the streets.
I have children here. This is where I've lived all my life, and I have seen a huge impact just since I've been sheriff on the drug problem.
Just this week, detectives put a man behind bars for selling fentanyl. 30-year-old Levi Fischbach is charged with trafficking after he was caught selling a brown powder that tested positive as fentanyl. The drug said to be 100 times more potent than street-level heroin.
Well, using it at all is misusing it unless you have a prescription for it. Fentanyl is primarily for cancer patients, and it's a very, very potent narcotic. It is crazy, and you know, they're addicted. That's all I can say. They need help. They obviously wouldn't keep doing it if they could stop on their own.
The sheriff has detectives working every single day to crack down on the drug problem. In Scott County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
And the sheriff says multiple agencies working together across that area have been a huge help. We're tracking a crime alert after an overnight robbery. A man told Lexington police that he was walking through Coolivin Park near West 6th Street when a man jumped him. The victim was cut with a pocket knife and taken to the hospital with minor injuries. For some recovering addicts, drug court is life-changing. For others, it's a chance that they aren't willing to take. Participants in the program have nonviolent drug offenses, usually felonies, and they're given the chance to be closely monitored for up to 2 years by a judge and caseworkers. A review of the program last year found that 0 participants were jailed 2 years after completing drug court. WKYT visited Fayette and Madison County's drug courts.
You saying there were 2 pills left and then there not being 2 pills left?
And I took them exactly like they were prescribed, exactly to the T.
But you've gotten a golden opportunity to be in drug court, and you are trying your darndest to get kicked out. I don't understand it.
Amber's at the live desk now with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on what she's working on for tonight at 6. Amber?
Sam, thank you. Miranda, most of us have heard of drug court, but that is about it.
Right, and when we've been traveling the state doing stories on the drug epidemic, drug court kept coming up as a success for a lot of people. Of course, it's not a success for everyone, but it was worth us checking into and look at the process.
You were able to see a side of drug court that most people never get to see.
We went for 2 days. The first we went in Fayette County, and the second was Madison County. And they're both doing the same thing, but both were very different. In Fayette County, we were able to go to the pre-meeting that they have before drug court starts, and that was fascinating because that's when the judge and caseworkers meet and they talk about each participant down to what medications they're taking, any changes in that, any changes in their social life, any changes in their job. It's very tough, and they're very critical of every decision that these participants make to make sure they're staying on the right track, and then they move into the formal court.
Is this something, though, that's really for everyone?
No, and that was what was surprising. In Madison County, the judge said a lot of times participants, or if they're asked to be a participant, will say, no, I'd rather go to prison. I'd rather serve out my time than go to drug court. That's how hard it is. And that also points to how hard this drug epidemic has hit this area and how hard it is to break the addiction cycle.
And we're going to get an inside look and go in with some of those people. That story coming up tonight at 6 from Miranda.
Amber, thank you. Well, we had a little rain out there in the bluegrass, but that rain seems to be moving out, and it could leave us with a clear, beautiful weekend. Maybe even a Halloween night that's nice. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, you know what? I can't find anything scary about the forecast as we roll forward through that Halloween weekend into Halloween and even First couple of days of November, 9 live sky cams showing up with a mix of sun and clouds, depending on exactly where you are. Southern Kentucky, you've had a little more in the way of sun than clouds. More overcast Lexington up into the Florence area, Frankfort with some cloudy skies. Look at the Jackson cam. A lot of those fall colors, man, I'm telling you, they are gone. Absolutely crazy how quickly the trees are shedding leaves right now. Low 70s Southern Kentucky, low 50s. Into the northern part of the state. That's a front that's on top of the area, and there's chill in the air out there this evening as thermometers drop through the 50s into the upper 40s to around 50 by 11 o'clock with a mix of stars and some cloud cover out there. Those clouds are going to be awfully tough to scour out over the next 3 or 4 hours. Notice how the clouds are actually building back in across northern parts of Kentucky on a northwesterly wind coming in behind an area of low pressure that's producing snows into New England. That's a blast of chill that is quickly going to be in and out of the bluegrass state. And as we go through the next few days, the back edge of that front is going to surge back in here, and I'll show you what that brings for the all-important Halloween weekend forecast in just a few.
An airline pilot accused of being drunk before a flight has been placed on administrative leave.
The SkyWest pilot was arrested yesterday in an airport in South Dakota. Chris Van Cleve reports.
This SkyWest-operated Delta flight landed in Salt Lake City 2 hours late Wednesday. This tweet from one of its 45 passengers explains why. They had to call in a replacement pilot because our pilot was drunk.
The one thing pilots should not do is that, so it was pretty unthinkable.
Shortly after 8 a.m. Wednesday, TSA officers noticed the pilot, 38-year-old Russell Duzak, smelled of alcohol. They called police, who gave him a breathalyzer test, indicating a blood alcohol level above the legal limit for pilots, 0.04%. Another pilot was found to take his place.
So hopefully they'll come up with some kind of checks and balances instead of just a TSA officer smelling it on their breath.
Duzak was arrested, released on a $300 bond, and put on administrative leave. The Rapid City Police Chief tweeted, "The system worked the way it is designed to ensure passengers' safety was not compromised." The FAA says the number of so-called pilot alcohol violations is low, 10 last year, 111 over the last decade. Still, passengers aboard this flight were concerned.
I'll be really anxious now when I get on more flights, wondering, where the pilot and co-pilot has been the night before.
That pilot has been removed from flight status. He is facing potential misdemeanor charges that could carry up to a year in jail and a $2,000 fine. His initial court appearance is set for November 11th. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Dulles International Airport, Virginia.
Earlier this year, 2 United pilots were suspected of being drunk and stopped before flying more than 100 passengers from Scotland to the U.S., and an American Airlines pilot pleaded no contest to charges. He was drunk as he prepared to fly from Detroit to Philadelphia.
We have some news about a famous Olympic swimmer, and no, it's not Ryan Lochte. That's ahead on WKYT.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, it's a day of change out there, but this change isn't going to hang around long because you know what? Another change is going to blow into town on Friday and last into the first couple of days of November, to be honest with you. Let's look outside, talk about the precious present before we get too far ahead of ourselves. We tend to do that sometimes in life, don't we? We look outside and overcast conditions are out there. Winds are gusting up 62 degrees. We're now getting those winds coming from the northwest at 10. Earlier today had some gusts 20, 30 miles an hour. Humidity's up there, but boy, we just can't get a whole lot of rain in a setup like this. Yesterday, the temperature change map had a lot of red on it. Today, it's a lot of blue, and that is showing some colder air, roughly 15 degrees colder right now in Lexington than at this same point yesterday. 54, cold spot, Covington, 73, warm spot, Williamsburg. 19, 20 degrees from north to south. If you're out this evening, everybody will drop it through the 50s with a chill in the air, and by 11, if we can get a few stars to shine through, upper 40s will begin to show up. Cloud cover, though, awfully tough into northern Kentucky. Farther south that we go, we're getting in on a little sunshine, filtered sun from time to time. Let's go into the day tomorrow. Fairly chilly in the morning, very pleasant into the afternoon. Gusty winds, warmer temperatures on Saturday, plenty of sunshine around. It's another windy and a warm day on Sunday as our skies stay mainly dry. That much of a chance on Sunday for an isolated shower across the north with another weak front. 11 this evening, notice the clearing trend trying to set in. That may be a little too optimistic. Watch for some fog in the morning for the trip into work and school with temperatures upper 30s to low 40s. You get fog, you're going to be low 40s. You get some clear skies, 38, 39 in the coldest valleys. Noon tomorrow, still a little chilly in the air, but it's sunny. And it looks good tomorrow afternoon, 65 to 70 for a lot of us. As the old saying goes, you ain't seen nothing yet. Good song, too. We go into tomorrow night, and for the day on Saturday, 50s. Then look what happens Saturday afternoon. 75 to 80 degrees across central and eastern Kentucky. And that nice weather is going to hang tough right on in to Halloween on Monday. So several days ago, we were showing our little mummy here doing a dance. You know what? His dance moves not changing very much at all. Why not? 78 for an afternoon temperature. May flirt with 80. Trick-or-treating with thermometers dropping through the 70s. No, I am not going to try to dance with that guy. 7-day forecast looks a lot like Labor Day as opposed to Halloween and early November. Upper 70s.
You know what I noticed today? I was out in Frankfurt and shooting a story. Those leaves just not there.
They're gone.
No color. They're not there.
No.
It's only about a week worth of we had.
And the colors we did have were not that vibrant
No, they
this
weren't.
go around. Wet summer, very dry fall. Obviously, that's bad.
On another note, it's going to be warm. So
That's a good
there
point.
we go.
Yeah,
I love your forecast.
Only in Kentucky do you see horses dressed up for Halloween. You can check it out at the Kentucky Horse Park this weekend. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about today.
Of course, you've heard of Halloween. Well, the Kentucky Horse Park's getting ready for Halloween.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about to show us how even the horses are getting in on all the fun. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Sugar Cookie just needed to get something out of its mouth, I think. Had too many cookies in preparation for Halloween. I guess, do horses eat candy too? They like peppermints, right?
Peppermints and taffy and other sugary type treats.
And what is your name and who are you dressed up as, my dear?
My name is Beverly. I'm dressed as a masquerade princess.
Well, you look beautiful, Beverly, and your horse does too, and it's all in preparation for an event called Halloweeny happening on Saturday and Sunday here at the Kentucky Horse Park. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelsey.
And your horse?
And this is Bandit, the American Paint Horse.
And tell us about your costume.
I am Katniss Everdeen.
Well, you look fabulous. We're going to let you two get to work. I told you a little bit ago, if you were joining us here on KYT, I was going to talk to Little Red Riding Hood to see what she had in her basket. Is there any candy in there?
Not yet.
Not yet, but it will be filled by this weekend, right? Introduce your name and your horse.
My name's Riley, and this is Billy. He's a Gypsy Vanner.
And a big bad wolf for today, right?
For today.
Let's see what that big bad wolf can do. You can come see the beautiful horses all dressed up as well as the riders on Saturday and Sunday. Lisa Jackson, this is a fun way for families to come celebrate.
Oh, it really is. You know, you can't do anything in Kentucky without horses. You can't do it right, that is. And of course, in Kentucky for Halloween, you have to see horses and riders dressed for Halloween. It's the only way to do it.
And it is a neat event because this is an opportunity for folks to come and see them all dressed up, but see them kind of competing too.
Well, competing for, you know, the crowd attention and the crowd affection. And let me tell you what, these horses really know when the crowd's into it. You know, they listen to the horses, the crowd cheer. And so they know when the crowd's into it, and they work for that applause.
And some of these horses are absolutely magnificent.
Yes, yes. This Sugar Cookie here is an American cream. It's a rare breed of draft horse that was established here in the United States.
Gorgeous. And then the big bad wolf I was talking about earlier.
Yes, yes. Billy O'Brien, Gypsy Vanner horse. You know, they got established in Europe, in Great Britain, you know, pulling the gypsy caravan wagons. And so we're lucky to have a few of those here at the park.
You guys have a lot of activities happening this weekend for Halloween. I know you do your cemetery crawl this on Saturday and Sunday. Admission is?
Admission right now is $18 for adults and $8 for kids. So come on out. Not only can you see the Breed's Barn show at 2 o'clock, Halloweeny at 2 o'clock. It gets renamed every year at the end of the season. But we just are finishing up our Halloween event that's new this year, the cemetery crawl, every night this week. And, you know, we go into CP National Horse Show next week. So we're crazy about that.
Always something going on here at the Kentucky Horse Park. Come be a part of their family this weekend for Halloween. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
CBS rolling out its all-new Thursday night lineup tonight.
And a popular 70s pop band making a big announcement in your Eye on Entertainment.
ABBA is reuniting. The Swedish band is teaming up with the creator of American Idol for a new digital and virtual reality project. The experience is set to open in 2018. ABBA's hits include Dancing Queen and Mamma Mia.
It's a night of premieres on CBS. I caught up with the cast of the new sitcom, The Great Indoors.
Joel McHale stars as Jack, an adventure reporter in this new workplace comedy. Jack has been assigned to supervise a team of millennials, but he's having trouble connecting with them. Christopher Mintz-Plasse is one of McHale's coworkers.
It's a grand time. It's the craziest job. It's the best job in the world. You get to work with amazing, hilarious people and also super talented.
The Great Indoors follows The Big Bang Theory.
Are we here to save the world?
And stick around for the season premiere of the medical drama Pure Genius. Dermot Mulroney plays Dr. Walter Wallace, a highly respected surgeon. Dr. Wallace works for a billionaire boss who wants to solve the most challenging medical mysteries.
Sort of father-son, but reverse mentoring. And he's not a doctor, but, you know, thinks he knows how to fix people.
Pure Genius airs after Life in Pieces. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Michael Phelps got married, and apparently it was a while ago. He just didn't tell anybody. During the Summer Games in August, Phelps told People magazine that he and Nicole Johnson had set a wedding date. Well, it turns out that date was before the interview. They had already been married for months. TMZ first reported on the couple's secret ceremony. People now confirms Phelps and Johnson were married in June during a ceremony in Paradise Valley, Arizona.
Actor-comedian Robin Williams was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease shortly before committing suicide. An autopsy would reveal that he did not have Parkinson's, but rather Lewy body dementia. Williams' widow, Susan Snyder Williams, says her late husband showed a high level of fear and anxiety in the months before his death. She says those symptoms are hallmarks of Lewy body dementia. And now she's helping to raise awareness and money for brain research. Last night, she was the keynote speaker for an American Brain Foundation fundraiser in Minneapolis.
A man's Halloween costume is getting some major attention on social media. See why his homemade wardrobe is going up in smoke. Sort of a gloomy day at times out there. Windy, blustery, a little bit of rain.
Been spoiled though, you know, up till this point, and then today just all of a sudden kind of overcast, like Amber's saying, Chris. That's your name, right, Chris?
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I'll make it up to you guys on the ugly weather out there today, all right? Because we're going to take off over the next few days with temperatures. I mean, this is going to be straight out of early September as opposed to late October and early November. The numbers right now continue to drop from north to south. London, we just dropped it down to 69 from the low 70s. 61 Moorhead, 59 now into Frankfurt. So a chill is in the air across the northern parts of the region, soon to get into southern and southeastern Kentucky. Overcast conditions actually beginning to thicken up just a little bit, maybe a sprinkle if you're out and about this evening. But overall, it's a forecast that looks pretty darn good for the days ahead. That includes the Halloween weekend. We'll break it down with a brand new hour-by-hour forecast just ahead. Right now, let's check on your late Thursday afternoon commute. Live drive traffic with Officer Don.
And a live look outside, it looks like the collision at Tate's Creek in the Circle has been cleared, so we're okay through there, and no major delays on the north side of Lexington. Drive times still less than 15 minutes to Nicholasville, about 12 minutes to Versailles. Now back to you in the studio.
Presidential pumpkins, a timely costume, and a penguin in a wetsuit. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
With Halloween and the presidential election right around the corner, what better way to celebrate both than with some presidential pumpkins? An Ohio homeowner is ringing in both holidays with a porch full of politically charged gourds. There's Trump-kin, of course, but also his opponent Hillary Clinton-kin, and for good measure, Vladimir Putin-kin. The display's creator said, in fairness, both Trump-kin and Clinton-kin weigh the same, but Putin-kin is heavier to represent Putin's heavy influence on the election. That was kind of a word.
Yeah,
twister,
you got through it.
I tried.
That's good. Still needing a costume idea? How about being something that is trending in the news this Halloween? Check out this homemade costume, poking a little fun at Samsung's massive Galaxy Note 7 recall. The embattled tech giant had to pull millions of the phones from shelves following reported fires and explosion concerns. Well, one self-proclaimed Apple user decided to add insult to injury by pairing up his vaporizer with a bunch of Note 7 boxes and going viral to the tune of more than 4 million views as a smoking Galaxy Note 7. That's pretty Creative.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Very inventive. One penguin at Orlando SeaWorld is strutting around in a new suit this morning. That penguin named Wonder Twin lost a lot of his feathers. She has a hard time staying warm in the chilly SeaWorld Antarctica exhibit, but now she has a handmade wetsuit, thanks to the park's wardrobe designer. That designer says it's the best project she's ever had. Workers at SeaWorld are happy that Wonder Twin has this opportunity. That's awesome.
I think it's amazing to be able to take everyday technology and use it to be able to help us care for the animals.
SeaWorld workers say the wetsuit will mimic Wonder Twin's natural feather coat. She'll be able to swim, eat, and sleep naturally like the other penguins.
You actually use a wetsuit when you compete for triathlons.
I have.
And you know how important they are, so...
It makes you warmer,
Yeah.
and you float and swim faster.
Oh,
So that's a good reason for that little penguin to have that.
It's going to be quite happy in that wetsuit. All right, stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.